When I think about Squid Game, I'm immediately reminded of its complex characters, each with their own unique stories, struggles, and personalities. So, here's a list of my top 10 most memorable characters, from the kindest to the most despised, and everything in between. Feel free to comment with your thoughts on these characters, and let me know which one you feel most connected to.
동그라미, let's go!
Number 10. Kindest character. When it comes to the kindest characters, I immediately think of Player 95, Player 149, and Player 388 from Season 2. They were genuinely caring, especially Player 388, who really stood by his pregnant companion, but the title for the kindest and purest character in my eyes still goes to Ollie from Season 1. From the very first episode, Ollie showed his kindness, constantly proving he would risk his life for others. His selfless heart was, tragically, what led to his downfall. His death still haunts me. It's heartbreaking to think of someone so innocent and good-hearted being taken too soon. Number 9. Most useless character. This category has some fierce competition between Player 144 and Min-Soo from Season 2. While Player 144 was, for the most part, a non-entity, I'd say Min-Soo takes the crown as the most useless character. His inability to help the girl who had been trying to save him, and his eventual betrayal at a critical moment, left a sour taste. People like Min-Soo, who aren't overtly evil but still contribute nothing positive, are worse than any clearly antagonistic character. At least with the bad guys, you know where you stand.
Mizu, you win! Come on, my boy!
Number 8. Most charismatic villain. This one's a tough call because there are few standout villains who stole the show with their charm despite their evilness. Whether it's the front man, the salesman, or the ever-conniving Sang-woo, these villains knew how to captivate. However, if I had to choose the most charismatic one, it would be Salesman. The actor did a remarkable job portraying a broken, psychotic individual, turning him into a compelling villain whose actions were unpredictable yet magnetic. He's my pick for the most charismatic negative character.
이 빵을 버린 건 제가 아니라 선생님들입니다.
Number 7. Most hated character. There are few characters I truly despised. Jang Deok-Su from Season 1 and Player 100 from Season 2, who was responsible for a horrific bloodbath. However, if I had to choose, Jang Deok-Su takes the crown as the most hated character not just in Squid Game, but possibly of all the shows I've ever watched. This guy did everything imaginable to be awful, and yet the fact that he remained so ruthlessly consistent in his evil made him truly despicable.
왜 남의 걸 가로채는 건데?
이거 아저씨 거야? 아저씨 이름 뭔데? 여기 아저씨 이름 써있나?
Number 6. Most oppressed character. This is a tough one, with Player 246 and Player 222 both coming to mind. Being forced into this game out of sheer desperation is heart-wrenching, especially when you think of how much they had to endure for their loved ones. In my heart, though, Player 246 feels like the most oppressed character. Every time I think about him fighting to save his daughter, my heart breaks.
나연아! 모자 대신? 네, 제가 아빠입니다.
Number 5. Saddest death. The deaths of the beloved characters in Squid Game were tragic and gut-wrenching, from the heart-shattering death of Player 95 and shocking death of Player 390 to the unjust death of Ollie. But one death that stands out as particularly impactful and sad to me is Player 240 from Season 1. The moment she chose to end her life due to sheer hopelessness and despair was one of the most poignant scenes of the show. Her death is a painful reminder of just how deep the psychological trauma runs in the game.
이유가 있는 사람이 나가는 게 맞잖아. 그게 맞잖아. 너는 꼭 살아서 나가. 그래서 엄마도 만나고. 강재병! 고마워. 나랑 같이 해줘서.
Number 4. Bravest character. There are many courageous characters in Squid Game, but when I think of sheer bravery, I can't ignore player 120, Gi-Hun. Her fearless combat skills and determination to protect others under the harshest circumstances were remarkable. She didn't hesitate to fight back, no matter how daunting the odds, making her the bravest character, in my opinion.
제가 숙소에서 탄창을 가져올게요. 최대한 빨리 돌아올 테니까 그때까지만 버텨주세요. 오면서 카메라들을 부숴놨으니까 그냥 그대로 따라가면 돼요. 이거 가져가요. 어머니 줄 테니까 빨리 가요. 어머!
Number 3. The villain I wish could return. If I could bring back one of the deceased villains for a potential Season 3, who would I choose? Despite many fans clamoring for Thanos to return, I'd love to see Sang-woo make a return. We saw his death in Season 1, but I wish his exit had been more ambiguous. I would have loved to believe that he might come back in the third season, leaving the possibility of his return open.
내가 시도하면 딱 세 발만 앞으로 가는 거야. 못하면 죽어. 세세 가는 거야. 하나, 둘, 셋.
Number 2. Most popular living character. My favorite character, without a doubt, is Ollie, but between the remaining living characters, it's hard to ignore Gi-Hun. He's the hero of the series, and naturally, he's incredibly popular with fans. I can't deny his importance, but I can't help but feel conflicted about his decisions in Season 2. So, even though I'm a huge fan of Gi-Hun, my favorite living character is Hyun-jo, there's something about her quiet strength and resilience that really resonates with me. Number 1. If I could choose one person to survive. If I had to choose just one character who should survive and leave the game alive, it would be player 222. I just want her to deliver her baby and escape with a sense of hope. I hope she used the prize money to help the girl with cancer, ensuring that her father's sacrifice wasn't in vain. Although I love Gi-Hun and Hyun-jo, there's something about her that just feels like the right choice for a happy ending. Honestly, I feel like even the front man would want her to survive. He'd see his late wife in her, and in a way, want her to make it out alive.
괜찮아요?
네, 괜찮아요. 돌아오셔서 다행이에요.
So, now I want to hear from you. Who is your favorite Squid Game character? And if you had the power to save just one character from a game, who would it be?